Anyone who's been fishing for tuna at sea knows that. How hard it is to catch a tuna this big. And the boss just wants to eat this big fish tonight. Those oxen and horses will go to work. Some smart people want to go to the supermarket. One fish in question is worth thousands of dollars. It took 3 years of saving up to buy a fin. Another day of capitalist envy. At 3 o'clock in the morning, Misha and his crew are already at work. And today is his last day. Misha is about to go to the hospital for heart surgery. Now it's just Joe and Jason. Although Misha is confident about their skills, but he still wants to be on the last one. Caught a tuna with my own hands. If he's out of surgery, it's basically the end of the season. But now he has a heart problem. This can no longer be delayed. Is that why they're here? Fishing for tuna very close to shore. He'll have more time here to get involved in the tuna fishing here. The sun rises above the sky. The two tailors were robbed of first place. Now desperate for a tuna. Back in first place this season. But in this ocean, there are many fishing boats. Jarrett doesn't really like this part of the ocean. But these guys catch tuna all the time. In order to regain the first place, this is the only place I can come. Didn't tell me Tyler was a little introverted. I'm afraid to show my face in front of people. Jack hasn't caught a tuna in a long time. It made him a little depressed inside. They even changed their fishing policies. No longer continue in one position waiting for the tuna to take the bait. They move around looking for it. See if he can find anything. It's his own bad luck to blame. I think everybody else has tuna on board almost every day. You're the only one who hasn't. The probe then made noise. There are tuna in 100 feet of water. The tension was immediate. Look at the fishing rod in front of you. Nick suddenly began to reel in the thread. My hands are flying around. Looks like the appearance of this tuna. It made them very excited. I even work a little faster. Move the rod behind the bow. They found that the tuna seemed crazy. The sprint to the bottom of the sea is very strong. It didn't affect Nick, though. Soon the tuna is pulled to the surface. And keep it afloat. There's no getting out of Nick's control. It stayed that way for a few minutes. Jack picked up the spear on one side, right at the tuna, after tying the rope around the tail. They got their 7th fish of the season. The tuna is also pulled onto the boat as it cools down. The fish measures 98 inches. It's a lot bigger than they thought. It's a nice big fat fish. When OTT heard that Jack had fish, accelerate your work immediately. Keep setting up mackerel bait. It happens to be Jarrett's birthday. And the last one was Jason on Misha's ship. They also happen to make tens of thousands of dollars. That makes OTT wish Jarrett well. Can make them the same today. Caught a huge tuna. Not to mention there are whales eating around. Based on OTT's experience as an angler for over a decade, there must be tuna around there scavenging for leftovers. There are so many factors that add up. Well, if the tuna doesn't bite, OTT thought he could jump into the sea to end the lives of 100 million unfortunate people. Soon the probe made a noise at this point. There are more than a dozen tuna under the water. The two stood nervously in front of the fishing rod. With so many fish, there's bound to be hooks. Suddenly, one of the poles bent. Several people set to work immediately. Jarrett had even begun to howl with excitement. After his short fight, it definitely feels like a big tuna down there. Just enough to be the first fish on his birthday. To keep the tuna from getting away. Jarrett's got his wits about him. It soon pulls the tuna to the surface. It was such an instant appearance. OTT immediately picked up the spear. Stick it in the tuna's head. The fish who offered to give Jarrett a birthday present. It was also successfully acquired by 3 people. After pulling the tuna onto the boat, the fish was found to be 90 inches in size. It's also a beautiful tuna. I guess tuna fishing sometimes requires stacking buffs. It is really a lot of conditions. Misha is catching a lot of fish now. But there's no tuna. It's all the mackerel and herring they love to eat. This makes Misha's heart very tormented. It's been a long time. Not a single tuna has been caught. Misha then picks up a piece of paper and puts it in front of the camera. It says, "Don't forget to wear your head." What is he trying to do? And he pulled out a skull. It seems that he's trying to play a practical joke. Jack has now returned to port. Found Rick selling 98-inch tuna. Although he didn't catch a fish for a long time. But if this tuna is fleshy and heavy enough, they'll make a lot of money, more than enough to make up for the time gap. The final weight of the fish was 341 pounds. It was a good performance. The fish looks beautiful, too, just a little low in fat, just a few on the edges. Rick can only pay $17 a pound. Don't look at it. It's not very high, but there's also this $5,797. That's a lot of money in just half a day. The ones who went to jail for robbery. Don't cry in the bathroom. Bob already knows about Jack and OTT. Have all caught today's tuna, and they're all still in this ocean. This made several people on board very envious. So they came to OTT's fishing spot. Let's see if we can find something here. So they waited for more than half an hour later. The detector suddenly made a noise. Several people immediately became nervous. Wait for the tuna to bite the bait. I noticed a change in the fishing rod. Bob also began to work. It soon pulls the tuna to the surface. The fish under the water seemed small to him. How did he get pulled up so fast? Through his constant recycling of fishing line. It turned out to be a tuna. It's just a little small. It doesn't fit the government's catchable size. If we catch this little fish, that's a big fine. This is not what Bob wanted to see. After all, he still wants to make money. Apparently, they were just happy for nothing. After OTT led his team to the harbor, found Jarrett's wife and kids. It's already waiting at Rick's. This family is really loving, not knowing if you're going to catch any tuna, and went to the dock to await his return. It just makes me feel bad being single. We're starting to throw dog food right off the bat when they were making out with each other. Tuna also weighed in at 265 pounds. The next step is to look at the fish. If only that were good enough. Jarrett will be happy today. The fish showed good color. It also has enough fat area. It's a very nice tuna. Rick was able to get the price down to $20. Let them earn a reward of $5,300. No, why is there a birthday cake? These people don't have any information up front. With the arrival of a new day, Tyler to be able to get tuna. I'm starting to get a little jumpy. To put on your favorite pizza, you get the tuna to bite the hook. Bob on the same side has no fish either. No, I caught a small tuna yesterday. That gave Tyler something to laugh at. We made radio contact, but you two are together. Why do you have to be so sarcastic? Maybe he's afraid of getting hit from the other side. Bob didn't react to his behavior, didn't even respond to a message. Taylor didn't make any more mockery. Because his probe has made a discovery. There are tuna at 150 feet of water. Soon the rod was bent too. Taylor rushed right in. Start pulling the tuna from the rod to the surface. Marissa, after taking the fishing pole. The fish turned out to be quite a large one. The sprint look is very powerful. This makes the two very nervous. There's so many fishing boats around. There's a good chance the tuna will get past them. Break the fishing line from your mouth. With Marissa pulling and pulling, the tuna was quickly collected and quickly pulled to the surface. But tuna is very smart. Know to constantly change the course of action. To loosen a hook in his mouth is that it didn't work out very well. Marissa has pulled the tuna to the surface. When Taylor found out about it, immediately picked up the fishing rod and waited. With one sudden motion, the gun is thrust into the tunny's body. After tying a rope around the tail, they also get the seventh tuna, then pull the fish into the boat. They measured a body length of 79 inches. It's not very big, though, but it also provides them with some compensation. Marcia suddenly announced at this point about having surgery on himself. I hope he can give face, so I could catch a tuna, even though it's usually competition. But we still have a good relationship behind closed doors. Tyler also took the tuna he had just caught. I talked to Marcia. Let them come here and fish. To catch the last tuna of the day. It's just that he doesn't seem very willing. Soon, they were back at the dock. Looks like Marcia's getting ready to leave, too. And at this critical time, Marcia's still a little worried. But not surgically. It's Joe and Jason before he gets back. I used up my meager quota. Looks like Marcia's a true fisherman. You're gonna have to have heart surgery. Still here thinking about fishing. Paul is reaching the ocean 100 miles away. Start laying mackerel bait right away. But when I was fishing here, One caveat. That is, the current here is very strong. We need to add some iron and lead to keep the mackerel in the water from being pushed to the surface. After all the decoys are set up, after an hour of waiting, the detectors sounded. There are tuna at 211 feet of water. Lance waited excitedly at the fishing pole, watching the situation anxiously. Suddenly, there was a bend in the fishing rod. Lance went to work right away. Moved the rod behind the stern. Lance also picked up speed in his hands. Soon the tuna is pulled to the surface. The fight is getting easier. In less than half an hour, the tuna is about to be pulled out of the sea. Watch the bigger fish get closer. Lance became more and more excited. There was even a hint of creepiness in his face. If I didn't know what he was doing, I thought someone was going to pick up the soap. After the tuna has completely emerged from the surface, Paul also picked up one side of the spear, right at the target, and he's on it. Lance hooked the fish at the stern. They were both flushed with excitement, like a peacock on the lookout for a mate. After the tuna is pulled on board, the fish is 99 feet long. It's a big tuna. Now Marcia is leaving on hard goods. Only Joe and Jason were left. That's when they found something Marcia had left behind. But there's a picture down here, a nice picture of Marcia. And inside that box is what he left behind. Joe and Jason look the same. I can't even laugh myself. Tyler and Marissa come to the harbor. Dennis wondered what kind of fish it was. To get Taylor to dress like this, there's no way he could have known. This tuna in my hand. Taylor dressed up as a pizza to get it. After cutting off some meat for observation, the fish weighs 221 pounds. The quality of the fish is also very good. It has a nice color. Fat is also well distributed. The core also has good transparency. You can see that this fish is of good quality. Dennis lowered the price to $23. The highest price of the season for two. It's just the weight of the tuna is a little off. They only made $5,083. Not much though, but such an easy way to make money. No wonder it attracts so many people. Joe and Jason on the hard goods. Put dear Marcia by the exit window to keep an eye on your work. The superintenders aren't just because Marcia's gone and lead to neglect of work. Couldn't catch a tuna. It feels like it might not be useful. Just put it there for a laugh. After they put a hook on the mackerel, they released the fish back into the sea. That's when the probe spotted fish 85 feet down. After Joe confirmed the location, immediately watched the fishing rod warily. Soon the line was pulled away by the fish. Jason immediately took control to keep the tuna from going too far. But the fish under the water is a little strong. Jason's job is a little difficult, although it managed to pull the tuna close to the surface. But the fish didn't quite reach the surface. Two people can only keep pulling alternately. Try your best to pull the fish to the surface. Joe picked it up quickly. It pulls the tuna to the surface. After seeing the face of the fish, Jason immediately picked up the spear and stuck it on the tuna. But this fish is a little energetic. I slipped the grip of my hook, but it didn't do anything. He was recaptured by two men and controlled the position beside the ship, although this fish was caught in Marcia's absence. Fortunately, the tuna was caught today. I can go back in the evening and bring this news to Marcia. The fish measured 74 inches. Looks like it's the smallest of the season. I don't know why they're so excited. Probably because Marcia's not here. Paul and Lance came to the harbor, proudly displaying this 99-inch tuna. After all, this is the most recent time. The biggest fish that ever appeared. I'm sure it's going to pay me a lot. After Rick cut what he wanted, he pulled the rest into the warehouse. The fish weighs 385 pounds. Very good weight presentation. Finally, the fish has a very good fat distribution. The color has a nice bright red, but there are still many flaws. Rick could only offer $18. That earned them $6,930. When darkness fell on the sea, Jason and Joe come to the harbor. First thing they caught with Marcia gone. To Patrick up there, the man also works fast. Cut out all the useless stuff at once. The fish was weighed at 165 pounds. Patrick watched for a moment. The fish was found to have a good distribution of skin fat. The core has nice color and transparency. It's a tuna that would make Marcia very happy. So Patrick was able to get the price down to $19. Let these two young men earn $3,135. Looks like someone can make money here or there. Well, if I catch tuna, I can get people to work for me locally. Well, that's all for this program. Give it a thumbs up, and let's look forward to the next episode.